What is going on, everybody? It is Travis with the Itch to Fish podcast coming at you with our next episode. Today, we're going to dive into a little bit more tactics, applying some things that you can use right now. It is becoming ice fishing season all across the upper Midwest in Canada right now. Wow, it's crazy. It's definitely early this year, but we're ready for it. I talked about it in our last episode. It's everybody's chance to get out there and get a trophy walleye. It doesn't matter if you're 14 years old or 70 years old, if you own a boat, you don't own a boat, you have a ton of money, you don't have a ton of money. You can get out there with really simple gear and get yourself some really great quality fish and fish with teeth. And that's what we're really after here at the Itch to Fish. And so we're excited. We're always excited. We say that a lot, but it's the truth. This is something that fires us up at all times. We think about it all day long. If you're with me, give me a nod over there. But yeah, it's that time of year. And this episode, we're going to be focusing primarily a big focus on catching walleye in early ice, because it is that time of year. It's a awesome time of year. These walleye are coming into the shallows. They're looking to gorge on good quality meals before it gets too cold and their metabolism slows down to where they're not eating a whole lot. They're still active. They're still active. They're still on the prowl. So right now is definitely the time to get after them. If you can get out on safe ice, let's get after them. So how are we going to do it? What is something that I do? Some of the pros that fish tournament walleye, what do they do right now? This time of year in the early ice, when they're able to get out, they're looking for that first break line. Okay, this break line is different, obviously, in every single lake that you can be fishing. But just hypothetically, if the lake is 20 feet deep and all the shallow spots are typically anywhere from 5 foot to 1 foot, and then you get that first break from 5 to 10. And then another one from 10 to 20. You're going to be looking in that 5 to 10 break line. Again, this is hypothetical. I typically would fish walleye anywhere from 10 to 20 feet is a normal break line, at least where I'm at in the local lakes that I fish. So it's that first break line. This is very beneficial for you if you know the lake previously. If you're used to fishing it maybe in a boat in the summer and you know where that first break line is in that weed line. Okay, these walleye are going to be focusing in and out, coming in and out off of that break line into that shallow water to catch a non-suspecting victim, snag some bait, get their lunch, get their dinner, and then head back out. These fish are not staying there that long, but when they do come, they come for one reason, and that's to feed. So you have a prime window. The tricky part is obviously finding that area, that little sweet spot that they can use as their highway and intercepting them as they go up to that shallow water. But the best way to really get after them is keying in on that area, and challenge yourself. Challenge yourself this year. If you ask all the pros, all of the professional ice fishermen, what they do to catch more walleye than the average person is simply one answer, and is they drill more holes than the average person. Right? They're out there drilling a ton of holes, so they have more water to work, and that's something that I'm going to challenge you really strongly. If you want to get better, if you want to catch more fish, plain and simple, you have to cover more water, and you have to cover more water effectively and efficiently. So number one thing that you should do in order to hit this goal is to get out there a little bit earlier. If you're typically fishing by 6, 7 o'clock, get out there an hour earlier. It might be early, it might be cold, but guess what? All these professional fishermen, they're out there before the sun is rising, and they're popping the holes that they want to try. They're gonna key in on a break line before they even leave. Okay, that's another thing that we'll talk about here in a coming podcast. Even I think I might be doing a YouTube video about this as well. But keying in on structure before you even get to the lake, because I see a lot of people in ice fishing and on the boat is they get fired up, they get out there, and as soon as they get out there, they say, "Oh shoot, where are we gonna fish?" Right? It's all about planning that attack and getting after it prior to even getting out onto the water. Plain and simple. Plan to succeed, right? Plan to succeed when you're out there. So drill more holes, cover more water. I'm challenging you right now. If you normally fish, 10 to 12 holes, get out there and drill 20 this year, every trip. Drill 25 and work your way up, because I'm telling you guys, they're not going to be in one area, especially in early ice. It's a great time to catch them. It's a great time to catch them, but they are not hunkering down on one specific area. They're coming in and up from the deep water in that little trench, that first break line, and they're coming up and they're smashing their prey in that shallow water. And as soon as they get their meal, what do? They trickle right back. So it's an in and out. It's an in and out, in and out, in and out. It's happening all day long. So you're able to catch these fish, but they're in and out all day long. So I challenge you to drill more holes. Find the area that you want to fish and drill more holes and get after these guys, because they're hungry, right? They are hungry and they are aggressive. They're still very much aggressive. So it's a great time of year because, it's time of year that I love, simply because I can try new tactics. I can try new things that maybe I've never tried before. One of the great things about the fishing industry is it continues to evolve every single year. They're always coming out with new gear. They're coming out with new baits, new tactics, new lures, things like that. And then we're going to stay on top of that for you guys to kind of talk to you about. But the greatest thing is that you can try something new every single year. For me, I talked about it in a previous podcast. I'm excited to try the Salmo rail shed. I think it's awesome looking, and I think it's going to land me a ton of fish. Do I know how to fish it? Not a whole lot. Have I ever tried it before? Absolutely not. Am I going to catch fish with it? You bet your bottom dollar. Okay, I'm going to get out there and make it happen, because, that's a challenge for me. It's a challenge every single year to try something different and catch more fish and be successful with that tactic. So I'm fired up. I feel like I haven't caught a walleye in a really long time. I'm getting the itch personally. We're in that weird transition period, at least where I'm at, where it's not quite winter, so the ice isn't safe yet, but it's a little past fall fishing in the boat to where it gets too cold at night and you kind of have to winterize your boat. So we're in this really sucky spot that I don't like. I'm getting the itch big time. So guys, it's a great time of year. Walleye are hungry. They're crashing these shorelines looking for bait. Now it's your job to get out there and intercept them as they come into these shallows looking for a meal. Be their meal. Be there. Put a jigging wrap down there. Put some suckers on a tip up or an iFish Pro or something along those lines, and get after these guys. My favorite tactic right now, like I said, find that first break line and drop down a spoon, a flasher spoon. I like to start, actually, before I even do the spoon, I'll throw down some type of rattle bait. So I love rattle baits right now. I'm drawing a blank right now, but I love getting out there and just throwing something gaudy, something that makes noise down there, and ripping it. And if I'm ripping it for one reason only, it's not my ideal that I'm going to catch these fish, right? I just want to see if there's something that's going to be active enough to be in the area that's big enough on my graph when they come in that I know that's definitely not, something like a bluegill or something. I know that that's actually something I'm looking for. So I'm going to get down aggressive bait and work it a little bit and see if I can get something in that area. If I'm not seeing anything, even trying to chase that or even coming to look at it and investigate, I'm onto a new hole. Okay, I'm using that aggressive bait as a way to draw them in. Once they get in there, they might swipe at it, they might not. If they don't swipe at it, but I see that they're there, I'm going to take my other pole that maybe has a more subtle flutter spoon on it with a minnow head and drop that baby down there, because I know they're there, I know they're hungry, and I know they're investigating, but they might be, thrown off a little bit by the aggressive approach, so I'm going to bring it down a notch. In this case, I like any small flutter spoons, VMC tinglers, there's millions out there that you can think of. I like them all. Little Clio spoons are dynamite as well. Swedish pimples, really anything with a little bit of flash and a little bit of wobble, you'd be able to throw down there and slam these guys. And so that's my 1-2 punch that I'm going to use on that first break line. This time of year, they're aggressive. They're looking to catch something. So throw your bait down there and get after it, guys. I'm telling you, it's the time of year to get after these guys. So I'm leaving you with that. I'm leaving you with where to find them, what to do, the 1-2 punch, and just how to get after him, guys, and how to go out of your way to plan to be more successful, drill more holes, get there earlier, plan your spots before you even leave, plan your spots the night before you even leave, before you even go to bed. So once you get out there, you have a plan of attack, you have a plan of action, you get out there and you go and crush it. Because if you get out there that early and you have a plan of attack, I guarantee nobody's going to be on that spot yet. I've had that in the past where I've had an idea of where I wanted to go. I got there a little late, and guess what? There was already somebody on the spot that I wanted to set up on. So get there early, be more effective, plan to attack. So if you want to be some more successful, you have to follow these steps. You have to plan to be more successful, right? And if you're listening to this podcast, you're here for one reason only, and that's to get a little bit better of this on your downtime. So that's really all I'm leaving you with. I'm going to throw one more thing at you just because I have to. I feel the obligation. We are all fishermen. We have one goal, one passion. That's to catch more fish and enjoy ourselves while doing it. But, guys, it's not worth risking your life over. So it's that time of year where ice is a little bit sketchy. Some people get out on the ice and they assume, it might be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 inches in one spot, but they assume the entire lake is the same. It's not always the case. Right now, guys, it doesn't matter where you're at. If it's a shallow lake, a deep lake, river system, be smart. There's tons of different gear that you can use to be safer out there. One of my favorite things is Frable makes those little ice picks that you wear around your neck. I always constantly have those on, in early ice and late ice as well. It's just not those fish, that tug, let me tell you, hooking into a walleye or a fish of a lifetime I can honestly say I've done a lot of awesome things in my life, but there's not a whole lot of things that compare to that. But I will tell you, none of that is worth risking your life over. So, guys, be safe out there. Get some ice picks. Buy a rope. They have flotation jackets now. They got all of that to be safe so you can be safer out there. So utilize it. Don't go out alone right now. It's not worth it. Guys, it's not worth it at all. And just be smart out there, guys. It's a scary time, so be smart, use your head. We're going to catch these fish no matter what, but you don't have to rush it, right? We're going to catch these guys all year long, and I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it, where to do it, and then you don't have to, risk your life over catching these guys. Though they are worth it, don't get me wrong, but it's not worth losing your life over. So, guys, practice safe ice fishing. I can't say that enough. Follow these tactics. I promise you, you're gonna be a little bit more successful if you follow these, couple tips on here. But that's really all I've got for you guys. It is about that time of year, so I'm getting excited. We're fired up to try new things, new tactics. But you bet your bottom dollar when I get out there fishing for walleye, the things that I just said on this podcast is exactly what I'm going to do to get myself on some fish right off the bat. So that's all I got. Again, this is Travis from the Itch to Fish. I'm signing off. Remember, guys, stay safe out there, but most importantly, tight lines. Take it easy, guys.